Hey everybody, welcome back to our ESL Ventures 3 Level 3, and we are finishing up our review of Unit 4, okay, and we're going to be using, we're going to mostly be using the workbook, right? So it's going to be the white book. We will be looking in the student book from time to time for a few pages for some explanations. But for the most part, we will be working in the workbook. All right, so let's get back into um, our review of Unit 4. So let's um, let's just do a quick review and remember what we're talking about. We are talking about health, right? And more specifically, we're talking about healthy habits and routines. Okay, healthy habits and routines. So if you remember in our student book on page 44, all right, we were talking about Stanley and his trip to the doctor, right? And in his trip to the doctor, we found out that he wasn't living a healthy lifestyle. Okay, he had high blood pressure, he was overweight, he wasn't eating right, and he was working a lot. Right? So his doctor gave him some really good advice to stop doing those things, right? To start working out, start exercising, eating right, which would reduce his weight and get his blood pressure back and under control and get him healthy again. All right. So that's what we've been talking about. Excuse me. That's what we've been talking about health. All right. Um, and then we also started talking about the present perfect tense. All right. So let's review the present perfect tense because we've talked about a lot of different tenses in level 3. So let's remember what present perfect tense is. All right. The present perfect tense is a verb tense which is used to show that an action has taken place once or many times before now, or basically that an action has taken place many times in the past. Okay. The present perfect tense is most frequently used to talk about experiences or changes that have taken place. All right, so we're talking about experiences or changes that have taken place. All right. So, present perfect forms, right? How do we use this? The present perfect tense is formed using has, have, right? So it's has, have based on who or what you're talking about, right? I have, you have, she has, he has, it has, we have, they have, okay? So the present perfect tense is formed using has or have plus the past participle, right? The past participle form of the verb. Questions are indicated by inverting the subject and has have. All right, so just switching those two around. All right, and negatives are made with not. So when we're talking about negatives, we put a not in there. Okay, so let's look at some examples. A general statement, right, or answering a question. You have seen that movie many times. So here we have our subject, you, and then the have has, right, depending on who the you is, right, who the subject is, and seen. Seen is our past participle form of the verb see. All right. You have seen that movie many times. When we're when we're asking questions, right? Remember, questions are indicated by inverting the subject and has have. So here we have you, okay? So now have or the has comes before the subject, right? Have you seen, that's the past participle form of the verb see. Have you seen that movie many times? All right. And then when we're talking about negative statements, right? Remember, negatives are made with not, so we have to include a not. You have not seen that movie many times. You, the subject, have, has, plus the not, okay? That means it's a negative. And seen, that's our past participle verb, form of the verb see. All right? You have not seen that movie many times. Okay? So now that we have reviewed our present perfect form, okay, and our present perfect tense, let's move on. Let's look in our student book, right, to see what they want us to do here with the present perfect. All right. So on page 46 in our student book, right, which we've already done, they want us to use recently and lately. All right. So we're going to use our present perfect tense, but we're going to focus on using recently and lately. All right. So let's see what they want us to do. Use recently and lately with the present perfect to suggest that something was done in the past, but not too long ago. Okay? So they want us to be very specific. All right? They want us to talk about things that happened in the past, but they want us to talk about it in a way that lets people know that hasn't happened too long ago. All right? It wasn't back in like the 1800s, right? It was going to be maybe last year, maybe two weeks ago, maybe a month ago. All right. So let's look at their examples of how we use recently and lately in the present perfect tense. So for questions, right? Have you gained weight recently? Have you gained weight recently? So we've used recently here. Okay. Have you gained weight not too long ago, basically? That's what they're saying. And the answer, the statement would be, I have gained weight recently. All right, so that's a positive, right? Positive statement. I have gained weight recently. Or I have gained weight not too long ago. Okay. Question, has Sheila gone to the gym lately? Okay. Has Sheila gone to the gym not too long ago, basically? This is what they're saying. And then the answer or the statement would be, Sheila hasn't or has not gone to the gym lately. All right. So that's our negative statement. Let's look at our last question. Have they seen the doctor recently? Okay. So have they seen the doctor? Basically, we're saying, have they seen the doctor not too long ago? Right? In the near past? And the statement is, no, they haven't seen him recently. So no, comma, there's our pause. They haven't. Haven't is have not seen him recently. All right. So that's how we use recently and lately, meaning not too long ago in the past, right? Not too long ago in the past, when we're using our present perfect tense. All right. And another thing you can do if you're not using your phone, to view this, maybe you can scan this barcode to watch a short video, okay, and it'll help to explain this some more. But what they also want us to do is practice our past participle form of the verbs, okay? because when we're using present perfect, it's has, have plus the past participle, right? And of course with verbs, we have regular verbs and irregular verbs. Past participle regular verbs are pretty much the same as past tense regular verbs. All right. For instance, check, checked. Right? Exercise, exercised. Gain, gained. Start, started. Visit, visited. Wait, or I'm sorry, wait, 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 weighed. All right, so irregular verbs are where we have to really pay attention when we're looking at the past participles. They're not always used very frequently in at least the United States. Other English-speaking countries do use them, like Britain and India. They do use the past participle irregular verbs, and they tend to use it they tend to use it correctly. Sometimes we don't use the irregular verbs in past participle correctly. So let's go over what they've listed here for us. All right, so your base verb is eat, and your irregular verb in the past participle is eaten. Right? Give, given. Go, gone. Loose, lost. Or I'm sorry, loss, lost. All right? See, seen. Sleep, slept. Okay? So that's how we use recently and lately in a present perfect tense. All right? Using past participle verbs, both regular and irregular. All right? So let's move on. Let's look, let's now open up our workbooks. All right? The white and green workbooks. And let's turn over to page 44. Okay, so page 44, we're in lesson B now. All right, and we're using the present perfect tense. A note here is study the chart and explanation on page 128, and for a list of a more exhaustive list of irregular verbs, or a larger list of irregular verbs, turn to page 131. All right, so if you do have your workbook, these 2 pages might help you as we're going through present perfect tense. All right. So number 1, it says complete the paragraph. Use the present perfect tense. All right. So before we complete or even look at the paragraph, let's look at our words in our word box here, or our word bank, and let's make sure that we can pronounce these correctly. All right. So the first one is be, eat, eat, exercise, exercise, gain, gain, give, give, go, go, and start, start. All right. So now that we can say these correctly, pronounce them correctly, let's look at our paragraph and start filling in the missing words. All right. So the first one is done for us. I have gained. All right. Remember, present perfect. Have gained weight recently. So I have decided to change my diet and get in shape. All right. Now, let's pause the video and complete 2 through 7 based on the words that we have left in our word bank. All right. And then we'll come back and we'll go over these together, and hopefully we have the same answers. All right, so let's go ahead and pause the video and go over this paragraph and complete it, and we'll come back. Okay, so hopefully you've had some time to pause the video and go through the paragraph and fill out 2 through 7 based on the words that we have in our word bank. So let's go through this together. All right, so of course the first one is done for us. I have gained weight recently, so I have decided to change my diet and get in shape. I wrote down give, right? So I have given up potato chips, and I said eat, all right? And I'm going to use this as a negative, all right? And I haven't or have not eaten any pizza recently, all right? I blank to eat more salad and fruit. So I wrote down, I wrote down the start, okay? I have started to eat more salad and fruit. I blank at the gym 3 times this week already. And I've said exercise, okay? I have exercised at the gym 3 times this week already. I can see that I am losing weight, and I'm sure my blood pressure blank down, okay? For this one, number 6, I said go, all right? I used go. So I am losing weight, and I'm sure my blood pressure has gone down. I feel healthier, and I blank. It's going to be something negative. Tired in a long time. All right. So I said B. Okay. I feel healthier, and I haven't. That's our negative, right? Haven't or have not been tired in a long time. All right. So that's what I wrote. These are my answers, and hopefully you got the same. All right. If you have any questions about that, let me know. All right. Let's move on. Number 2, write sentences. Use the present perfect. First one is done for us. But let's look at it, okay? So they give us you not exercise this week. So you take these 4 words, right, or 3 words in one phrase, right? You not exercise, those are words, and then this week is a phrase, all right? And you come up with you haven't or have not exercised this week, all right? So now we have to do the similar, very similar thing to 2 through 7. All right. So let's pause the video and work on 2 through 7. Let's take some time to really think this one out, okay? Because we have to create a complete sentence using Paul gained weight recently. All right. So let's pause that. Let's pause the video and work on this, and we'll come back and I'll share my answers that I got. All right, let's do that. Okay, so hopefully you had some time to complete this, complete the sentences based on what they've given us here, and we're going to go through my answers for exercise for numbers 2 through 7. All right, so this is a little tricky. So if you did have problems with this, I understand. You just really have to use what we've learned for the present perfect. All right. So they give us a number 2. They give us Paul gained weight recently. All right. So I'm going to write, I'm going to say that Paul has gained weight recently. All right. Number 3, they give us Ray and Louisa lose weight recently. All right. So I'm going to say Ray and Louisa have lost, right? Have lost weight recently. For number 4, they give us Alicia be unhappy lately. All right. I wrote down Alicia has been unhappy lately. Number 5, they give us my blood pressure go up recently. I wrote down my blood pressure has gone up recently. All right. Number 6, Greg not visit a dentist recently. I wrote down Greg has not visited the dentist recently. Number 7, they give us Sarah give up desserts lately. So I wrote down Sarah has given up desserts lately. Okay. So those are the answers that I came up with. Hopefully you came up with the same. All right. Some of these are really tricky and a little bit difficult because for me personally, I don't say Sarah. I would not say Sarah has given up desserts lately. All right. I wouldn't say it like that. So I don't know if I would use this tense, the present perfect tense, to say this, but this is one of their examples, and this is how it's written per their example. All right. So hopefully you got that. Let's move on with our Unit 4 review.